All right. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. By Hashem Akal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Salakia. Honors and salutations to all Serakim throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in honesty, sincerity, charity, and a sound doctrine. And to the Akwathim and to the children that believe on the true names of the Father and the Son, which the name of the Father is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh means he exists. Yahweh Shai means he is the deliverer. My name is Maka Allah Ban Gad Ban Yasha Allah. I'm with the Watchman Philadelphia camp. All right? And I just want to go over, the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. All right, Lord's will, we're gonna get through this whole book. And the reason why I want to do that because I just was up there with my brothers in the DTA camp, and we had to we recognize the feast of the dedication ceremony, and that's basically the first four books of the First Maccabees, you know, and that's basically what we're going through right now. Okay, we're going through those same things right now. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Salakia. All right, this is the. It says the first book of the Maccabees, chapter 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. All right, so now when it's talking about Alexander, you can take that to secular history, which that's talking about Alexander, the so-called great, but it's Alexander the Greek. All right, and you look up Darius, Macedonian, Shittim. You look up the Medes. You look up all those things for yourself. All right, and like this is proof that these scriptures ain't no lie, man. And this is also part of you have to read these in the ceremony of the dedication. All right. Verse 2 says, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So, man, this how you know America patterns itself after this. Okay? America patterns the whole way they rock out and move after Alexander the Greek, which is the Greek Empire. You have the Roman Empire, and again, I'm going to say you have the Egyptian Empire. You know, and hold up. Matter of fact, Alexander he conquered what you would call Egypt, into Egypt. You know, but before that was the land of what? Canaan. You know. But let's go. Verse 4 says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. All right? So they looked up to him. The same way America does now. All right? America does the same thing right now. All right, it says, so now, America does the same thing right now. The same thing that happened to this kingdom, the same medicine or the same judgment that America is going to get, because America tied in or incorporated a whole bunch of different wicked kingdoms into it. All right. Verse 5 says, and after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and Salakia, were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander was rocking out with his homeboys basically that he had came up with while he was a child and all that. And he was breaking up the kingdom like, yo, you my man, you did this for me. You my man, you did that for me. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? But let's read the scripture some more. Verse 7. Now that's why he was alive. But that man passed away. He perished. All right? It says, verse 7 says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. So 12 years, man, and then died? Like, that's crazy. Because one day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua on this earth is like 1,000 days. I mean, Salaki, 1,000 years, man. So you reigned 12 years, then you die? But hey, you was an Edomite anyway. But that's just saying a lot because Esau knows these things. That's why they set up niggas to be in the rap industry. And I'm going to stay on y'all niggas, man. But anyway, verse 8 says, and his servants bear rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. Died, it's like the kingdom was their kingdom was being fought for. It's like if you have a nigga in the hood and he got everything on smash. Let's say like that. He got everything on smash, right? And you get somebody that don't know the boy, he come like, you know what? He be like, damn, them niggas making a lot of money. I need that. They doing this, they doing that, and they go kill the head. And guess what? After that, you might have niggas trying to fight for it, but unless he's a strong dude, he could still fight for everything and keep it. But everything gonna be in turmoil, you know. So let's read that again. It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon their heads. So that's like if you have a head, he get killed. Everybody else gonna be like, yo, I'm the man. You might be the muscle. You might be the mastermind. You might be the mastermind of traffic. Whatever. All them niggas put crowns on their heads, man. And tried to say that they was the man. You know? Put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons. So did their sons after them many years. So that shit kept trickling down. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So evils is talking about them wars, man. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 101 Slakia, the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant, which the covenant is an agreement with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow, man. So these people want to make a covenant with the heathen, man. You know, the people that's underneath us. They was going through so much shit. They like, man, I can't take it. I can't take it no more. I got to rock with these dudes, man. Which is a bunch of bullshit. You know? But hey, check it out. That's the same thing that happens today. Them niggas like, yo, let's go make a covenant with the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get let's go play this basketball. Let's go play this football. Shalom, Yabashim, Shabashim, Kakadas, Brakatah, you know? But they like, yo, let's go play this basketball, this football, or whatever the case may be, man. So they made that covenant with the heathen, that agreement. So when you make an agreement with the heathen, which is nothing new under the sun, you know, that means like you rocking with the heathen. All right, so let's read that again, man. Verse 11 says, "In those days went there out of Israel wicked men." So Israel is talking about what? You 12 tribes, you know? And you had wicked men in Israel back then, and you have wicked men right now, man. All right? It says, "In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us." So the heathen that are round about us, we're in America right now, you know? And niggas want to make a covenant with the heathens that are round about us through all their policies, you know? And what they can get out of it. Which that's a bunch of bullshit. So it's nothing new under the sun, and I'm going to keep saying that. All right? It says, "With the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." The same thing happened back in the wilderness when we left out of Egypt. You know? When we left out of Egypt, it was the same shit, niggas complaining. Oh, we left them and they ain't have faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And the reason why I'm reading this, because this is going to the ceremony of the dedication. All right, verse 12 says, "So this device pleased them well." So it pleased them to want to be cool with these damn heathens, man. The same way it pleases them now, it pleases niggas to wear what? Skinny jeans, pocketbooks, and they want to call them what you call them, fanny packs and all that. You know? It says, "So this device pleased them well." Verse 13 says, "Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen." So that's where you get your whole do as thou wilt. So it gave them license to do whatever they wanted to do after the heathen, man. So if you want to be a homosexual, hey, they be like, "Hey, buddy, here go a license. You could do that." Whatever you want to do in Esau's world, and this is in the Maccabees, first Maccabees, the first chapter, verse 13, man. It's talking about those same things. So it's nothing new under the sun, man. So you think Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua ain't going to come back and destroy this place? And this is a part of the ceremony for the dedication to read what happened to us and what our ancestors did. For us to get out of that shit and turn and change our ways, man. Verse 14 says, "Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen." So they just forgot about our customs. Then this is our people we talking about. We forgot about everything that means anything, man. Why? In the same way right now, man. What was written aforetime as far as learning, as far as understanding. Because what our people do, we come and tell you that you're an Israelite. You know? We tell you that you're the top people on the face of the planet. But our people don't just follow after the customs of the heathen. So it's nothing new under the sun, man. Verse 15. It says, "It made themselves uncircumcised." So you were circumcised because you had circumcision, Salakia, circumcision and uncircumcision. So the circumcision is the ones that knew that they were Israelites, knew about the laws, statutes, and commandments, knew about the high holy days and all that. But they wanted to, so they made themselves uncircumcised. And for them doing that, you made your children uncircumcised, man. So they ain't even know who they was. Because you want to follow after Esau's customs. Because niggas, and these people that I'm reading about, yeah, they're Israelites, but they was niggas. And you can equate them with the 2/3, man. Because they wanted to follow after Esau's ways, man. Instead of waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, are you crazy? You can't wait on the power that created you, that created everything that has to do with this place where we live at, man. Verse 15 says, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. So they forgot about the holy covenant. And that's why we where we at right now, man. And every time we ever did that, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua punished us, man. That's how you know he loves us. Because if he didn't love us, he wouldn't punish us, man. You don't see these other nations getting punished for turning their back on the covenant. Why? Because the covenant wasn't given to them. Who was it given to? Israel. And I sat up yesterday all day, man, just watching a bunch of old movies on the scriptures. And they had this one, it was called the Bible, all right? And they finally got it right. Samson's mother looked like a Negro. Man, the hair covered and she was black. Samson, but they got it fucked up. They actually gave him dreadlocks, but he was a black man. So they finally got it right. But then they go and switch it up and have the angels be Edomites. Like, come on, man. So they going to give you truth, then they going to lie to you. Like this place, man. Anyway, that's another topic. It says it made themselves uncircumcised the holy covenant. It says it forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. So they joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief, man. So you joined yourself with these heathens just to be wicked, man. Just to be wicked. The same way these niggas do now. What they do, they join themselves to the heathen. And it says to be sold. So to be sold, that's like you signing a contract. Like you got these rappers, the NBA players, these football players, these movie stars, they all sign contracts. And when you got a contract, you got to buy a nigga out that contract. So you're being sold. And when you're being sold, it's not to do the right thing. It's to do mischief. For who? Esau. You know? Verse 16 it says, now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt that he might have the dominion of two realms. And two realms is two different power structures, basically. You know, he thought he was going to run the north and the south. Then you know how Alexander's, you go through history and you see how Alexander's kingdom was set up, you know. Verse 17 says, wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. So basically, they took the land and all that. They won. They prevailed. It says, and after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, man. So yo, that's heavy right there. So when our people disrespect Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, this what happens. That candlesticks and all that, that's the menorah, man. Took all the vessels, took all our riches, man. That's what these people did to us. Why? Because we disobeyed Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And how hard is it to turn back to him, man? How hard is it? And you got brothers on all four corners of the earth teaching, man. You know? Teaching. Speaking the same thing. But the reason why I'm reading this is to give you some history on how niggas operate. And then you have men of the Lord. All right? Verse 22 says, "And the table of the shew bread and the pouring vessels, they took everything. And the vials, the veils, so like the veils, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crowns, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he poured off." So, yo, when you disrespect your power, he gonna strip your ass bucket naked. In the words of Bernie Mac, bucket naked. Because that's what Yahweh Bashim outside did to us. You know? We had the Jews and all that, but he stripped that from us for being disobedient, as any good father would do. You know? 23. It says, "He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found." Damn. "And when he found Salakia, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proudly." So, yo, anybody that takes down Israel, you know what I'm saying, and this is going through history, they going to speak proudly. Why? Because we at the top of the food chain, so to speak. Israelites is at the top of the food chain. Then you had the other nations. Then you had the beasts on the field, or in the earth and in the sea. It's nothing like an Israelite man, you know. But that's the reason why we so jacked up now. And this right here in the first Maccabees is telling you why. That's why this is part of this the ceremony of the dedication. Why? To give you remembrance of what we went through and what we had to go through, man, and what we still are going through. But at the end of the tunnel, it's a light, man. And that's why, you know, and I'm gonna say this again: what was written aforetime was for our learning and for our understanding, man. For our learning and for our understanding. Because sometimes you might forget about who you are. The Lord opens up your mind and this flesh is weak, man. All right, verse 24 says, "And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having a great massacre, and spoken very proudly." That's what America does too. "Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were." In every place where they were, man. That's heavy, man. In every place where Israel is, man, it's a mourning. So that talks about all four corners of the earth, man. Not just America. Wherever y'all Bashim Yahweh spread you, man. All right? It says, "So that the prince, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed." It says every bridegroom took up lamentation. So we still doing that. We still lamenting. That's why you got brothers out there on the highways and byways and doing lessons and all that. Why? Because we lamenting. We not in our kingdom yet. And then you got a whole bunch of false prophets and all that. Like, yo, man, this ain't no joke. This ain't no game, man. I can't stress that enough. This ain't no joke. It ain't no game. And we're sitting here reading in the Maccabees, man. The first Maccabees. I'm going to go back to verse 27. It says, "Every bridegroom took up lamentation. They were mourning. And she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness." So what's that talking about? You can look at that like the elect, man. Because they sit in the marriage chamber. And what? They're in heaviness right now. Why they in heaviness? Because they sitting there crying to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua on the highways and byways, man. But you also have dudes that be faking moves and try to act like they the elect, But you know, when the spirit is working with somebody, you're going to see it, man. And that's, I'm going to say, self-explanatory for lack of better terms, but you will see it. You can't fake the spirit, man. I don't give a fuck how hard you try. You can't fake the spirit, man. Verse 28 says, the land also was moved for the inhabitants, Salaki. It says the land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Salaki, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion going on right now. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judea, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. That's why it says never trust thine enemy, man. Because his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. It says, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses of walls thereof, and on every side. So this is history what happened to us, man. Do you think that these people could have did that if it wasn't for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? Because we disobeyed him, man? Can't nobody fuck with Yasher Allah, man. If you sincere in practicing the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. But it's going to start with the elect first, and being as though this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua movie, this the way it must go. Alright? Verse 32 says, but the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. So they took our women captive. Why? Because they were booty, spoils. That's all a part of war. That's the reward of war. When you take over something, what you take first? The women and the children, on top of the land and different resources that you take. It says, then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty Salakia, and with mighty towers, and made it a strong hold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and forfeited themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. So they became a sore trap. Snare. Just like you got them damn gutter rats over there now, man. What are they? A sore snare, man. Sore trap. And not just that, I forgot exactly what year it was, but they took us over. The Rothschilds and all that, man. You know? And we still under that spell, man. Verse 36 says, for it was a place to lie and wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it. So they shed our blood on every side of the sanctuary, and they defiled us, man. They defiled us, yo. And you think that Esau don't got to pay for that? Salakia. It says, it's so much. That the Salah. 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 It says in so much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Salaki. Salaki. It says in so much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made a habitation of strangers, and because Salaki and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her, man. It says her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. And that's what's going on with us right now, man. Been going on. You got over there them gutter rats in our land. You know? You got them gutter rats over there in our land, and they perpetrating like they us. And they think nothing's not going to happen to them. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen real soon. Verse 40 says, as had been... Shit. Salakia, Akin. It says, as had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. It's America too, man. Her excellency was turned into mourning. So right now, America's really going to the mourning state. But this is going back in history. This is not talking about America, but it's going back into history and talking about these are one of the places that America patterned itself after. You know, the Greeks, the Romans too. So the same thing that happened to them, America is going to get like quadruple times, man. You know. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Damn, that's crazy. Now this lets you know, right? All should be one people. Now you can look at the mark of the beast too, the RFID microchip. You can look at that because that's where these I'm gonna say Americans and these elite get that mindset from. One word government. Alright, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. You know? All should be one people. Alright, it says 42. It says, and everyone should leave his laws. It's Esau ain't shit. It says, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So if you was an Israelite living back in there, that's like, yo, we was allowed to practice our laws, statutes, and commandments back then, you know. But they wanted us to leave that shit alone completely and follow out the ordinance of the king, man, which is crazy. Because right now, in where we living at, you try to tell them niggas like, yo, you know what? It's the Sabbath. I can't come to work today. And every Sabbath, because the Sabbath, the new moon came in what? December 6th? You know, to the 7th sundown? You know? And before that, it was what? The 6th, the 5th to the 6th? So he be like, yo, this the Sabbath, and then the new Sabbath coming in, and this is going to be the end, and I need those days off because I can't work. They going to fire your fucking ass, man. Why? Because we're not in our kingdom, we're not in our rest, and this shit is stressful, you know? But it's all coming to an end. I'm going to read verse 42 again. It says, and should leave his laws. Everyone should leave his laws. So us being Israelites, that means you got to leave our laws. That's the commandments. To follow after the commandments of a king, a man that Yahweh Bashim outside created, which he was a heathen. Are you serious? Verse 43 says, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. That's just like these niggas now. That's the 2/3. They consent. The 144 ain't going for that shit. First and foremost, the 144 ain't going for that shit. It says, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. That's right, I said taking on that image. That's right, brother. And that's what them niggas do. That's right, sellouts. And that's basically what they are, man. Them niggas straight up sellouts. You know? They sellouts. Check it out, verse 44. It says, for the king has sent letters by messenger unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. I'll read that again, man. It says, for the king had sent letters by messengers. So now look, you got a thing on Facebook and all that called Messenger. Because there's nothing new under the sun. So back then they had actual messengers that walk to and fro on the earth. But now you could just text a message and put it on Messenger and it'll go right to a brother. You know, so it says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the city of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So that's crazy. So they telling you to follow the strange laws of the land? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And that's the king saying that. Follow the strange laws of the land? And you wonder why we're in the condition that we're in. Following after bullshit. But this is a part of the what? The dedication, man. And this is also, that's right, brother. That's right, the Jesse Jacksons and the others, that's right. That's right. The Martin Lucifer Kings too. You know? Your Malcolm X's. All them dudes, man. It says, and yo, you know what? Now the brother said that's also speaking on your Marion Bird, because whenever you have like an uproar of people, just say like something happened tomorrow, you know, and it was crazy and all that. Guess what? They gonna try to send another nigga a face out there to try to calm you down. That's the main reason, and these scriptures right here prove to you why you need Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to come back, man, and deliver us, man. That's why his name is Yahweh Shah. He is the deliverer. Who the hell else going to deliver you out this captivity? That's why I said he's not going to meet you as a man, because this is man-made shit right here. And we've proven it through the scriptures. Verse 45. It says, and forbid burnt offering. Damn. These niggas was wicked as hell. Matter of fact, it's a lot. I'm gonna take it back to verse 44. It says, For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judea, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So damn, that's just like right now. So they like, yo, homosexuality is legal now. I know you were Israelite, but you live on this land. You have to follow that now. But you got a lot of Israelites that want to be Muslims, and I spoke to them dudes a lot of times, and they like, yo, you got to follow the laws of the land. And I said, well, okay, you want to be a Muslim. You go over there in Mecca, and they say homosexuality is illegal, you know. But you live here in America, and they say that shit is cool. And you know what them niggas said? Oh well, you know you gotta follow the laws of the land. I said, motherfucker, is you serious? That's how you know these niggas. That's a whole nother topic, man. But them niggas be frauding. Verse 45 says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, that they should profane it and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, which they do that all the time. That's how wicked our people is. Like the scripture says, say, why trimmest thou ways to seek love, man? And that's what these people right here, they was doing. They was trimming their ways to seek love from who? Their enemy. That shit is crazy, man. We Israelites, we were born this way. You gotta rock out, man. Lord's will we be one of those men. You gotta rock all the way out. Ain't no sucker shit here. Ain't no pussy shit when you an Israelite, man. You go the fuck in for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Because he created you. At the end of the day, that's all that matter, man. And I'm tired of these niggas with this fake, phony, pussy shit. Excuse my language, man. But I know I get hyped. Verse 47 says, it says, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. And a nigga right now will always tell you that swine is cool. As soon as you tell him you don't eat pork, oh, what you a Muslim? What you this? But these niggas was so wicked that they sacrificed swine's flesh on our altars, and that was the heathen doing that. Why? Because they overcame us. And they always like to make a mockery out of us, man. Even to this day, you got mannequins. I believe when I was up there with the DTA brothers, man, and I was talking about how they had mannequins. It was just the waist down, and the pants was hanging off the mannequin's ass, but the body was black, like an Israelite, and the pants was hanging off their ass, no drawers or nothing. So they already letting you know, man, what it is. These niggas ain't shit. We got a couple more verses, and I'm gonna close it down because I gotta go to work in the morning. But fuck that job, man. You know? Con. That's a Yapa precept, huh? Damn, Yapa, huh? My brother Shamyar, Yapa precept, huh? Verse 48 says that they should be also leave their Salak. It says that they should also, that's right, huh? We only entertainment to them niggas. No, that you said that up. That's why you have these niggas that want to be rappers. What they call it, entertainment, entertainers for them fucking crumbs, man. When we're the rulers of galaxies, man. Why the fuck would you settle for this bullshit? And you got niggas settle for, yo, I'll run this block. That's right, boy. They justice, man. Kevin Hart's. And that nigga ain't even fucking funny like that. But verse 48 says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Profanation. It says to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances, man. And that's what these niggas are doing now. What they do, they forgot the law and changed all ordinances, man. So they want to they want to be faggots. They want to be lesbians. You know, they want to do what they want to do. They're not following after Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. They're not following after him. They following after their own lust in their own heart, and that goes with Israel, man. I'm talking about the brothers that know that they Israelites. Tazadakia, ISUPK, GOCC, and all those alphabet groups. Niggas is after their own filthy lucre. You know? If you ain't... Let me read that again. It says, to the end... Con. That's right, brother. Isaiah 29:16, that's right. It says, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Verse 50 says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So, yo, that's like now, man. And the reason why I'm reading this is because, you know, we about to come into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right? We going to come into the time of Jacob's trouble. Where, guess what? All this shit that, and I don't want to say shit, but all the things that I'm reading is going to come into full effect. You know? If you don't follow by what? Donald Trump, you could say. But basically, it's coming from the elite. If you don't get this RFID microchip, what's going to happen? You're going to be put to death. And let's read that again. Verse 50 says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he should, Salaki, he said he should die. So if you don't get the RFID microchip coming soon when it's mandatory, what you going to do? You're going to die. You're going to be put to death. So this is for our learning right here, for our understanding. All right? It says, in the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over the people, commanding the cities of Judea to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people them to wit every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they should flee for succor. So that's going to happen again. But the Lord is going to lift up a standard for us to escape. It says, now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judea on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets, And when they had rent their in Salakia, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. So that sounds some polite shit, cause that nigga shot up the Bible. But when you rent something, that means you tearing it, man. So they tore up the books and burnt them with fire. It says in whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was Salakia. The king's commandment was that they should put him to death. So what you think will happen in time of Jacob's trouble? And you're about the scriptures. You know? You got brothers, man, that they say they're about it on some masterpiece shit. That I'm about it. Is you really, man? Only way to find out is when these things happen, man. That's right, brother. That's right, brother. Read that again. 57 says, and wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. The same thing they did to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, man. They tried to put them to death, but the Lord going to lift up a standard. Lord's will we be one of those men, that 144,000 chosen. We escape that, but you're going to have to go through some shit. Then this is talking about our ancestors. Because like I said, I was up there with the DTA brothers, and we celebrated the ceremony of the dedication. God, Abba Rataza, that's right, brother. That's right. Verse 58 says, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. So they was fucking us up, man. Wherever they found us. And you think Yahweh Shimi Awashah, Bashim Kadash ain't got nothing planned for these niggas? And we the apple of his eye? Yo, he don't play about his, man. It says, now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women. It says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. So these women were righteous, and they put them to death because they circumcised their children. Because they circumcised their children, following out the laws, statutes, and commandments. These niggas got hell to pay, man. It says, and they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. But you got our people now, they eat pork in a heartbeat. And when you tell them not to eat it, they look at you like you crazy. But our ancestors, they had more integrity than us. Straight up. They had way more integrity than us. You know? And they was rocking with us. The last verse. It says, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. And that's the first the first chapter of Maccabees, man. You know, and Lord's I gotta get up in a couple hours, but it don't even matter. But Lord's whole camp tomorrow. After that, I'm gonna go over the second chapter of Maccabees because these are Maccabees, man. They some heavy scriptures, you know, some very heavy scriptures, and it also gives you an idea of the up and coming things, Jacob's trouble, man. You know, it gives you an idea of Jacob's trouble, and this is on a lower level because when Jacob's trouble come in, it's gonna be like yo crazy, man. You can't even imagine that. It says like a time that before the. It says like a time that there never was on the face of the planet, man. That's heavy. And with that, man, I hope that this lesson was edifying. Hope that Akim, uh, got some type of edification out of this. I hope I wasn't rambling. I hope it made sense. To the next lesson, I'm gonna say Shalom and death to America. Shalom, Akim.